Yeah, and we're back. But yeah,
Yep.
like regarding Puka and Downs, like, do I prefer Puka to Josh Downs? Yes, because Puka has shown a bit more, and like overall, he has more value to everyone else. Like, to me, I also think he's more valuable than Josh Downs, but I probably don't think the gap is as much as other people think, because I don't think
Yeah.
Puka is a top three guy.
Just out of
But like,
curiosity, how
yeah,
many times has a situation like Puka happened where this guy was on no one's radar? Like this guy was completely undrafted in a lot of rookie drafts, and he just comes out and he's on pace for like 1,000 yard season plus, probably. Like how many times has that happened, and what happened to those guys?
like what
I
happened
just,
to, for example, Cooper Cup? Wasn't Cooper Cup at like a similar level?
I guess that's true. He
Uh,
was like a third or fourth round rookie pick in a lot of. So yeah, I mean, hmm.
yeah, like his rookie season wasn't as good as Puka's, but he still had, I think he was a wide receiver 24.
Hmm.
So had like close to 100 targets first year.
So here's the thing. You call the people who acquired Puka a sucker. What example do you have of someone producing at Puka's level and not panning out?
That's sort of a trick question, isn't it? Because like if we have, I don't know, what's the sample size? Like how many people, like how many players came out of basically irrelevancy, came into the league, produced well, and just kept producing? Like, I guess the sample size for like the success rate of that, I would say the success rate for that is pretty high because I don't think there's
Edelman's another
many.
example.
Yeah, because I don't think there's many guys who come out of basically nowhere, produce at a high level year one, and then just fade. Because I don't think there's a lot of guys who do that to start.
So
So,
then why? So then okay. So then why are the people who are acquiring Puka suckers?
because I wouldn't think that he keeps producing at a wide receiver three in dynasty pace. That's just me.
Do you
Like,
think
I'd rather not buy the outlier. Like, if this is a case that has happened, I guess, what, 5 times in the league, I probably want to bet against that.
that's true?
Yeah,
So
so
here's the argument I would make. I would almost make the running back argument where the wide receiver like 1, 2, and 3, at least on keep trade cut, because it's crowdsourced. That's why we use it. So we're trying to get the pulse of the totality of everyone doing fantasy. So the wide receiver 1, 2, and 3 can be pretty volatile because 2 years ago was Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson the top wide receivers.
and it's still the same thing.
No, were they? Because I don't think they were.
Oh, uh, uh, I'm pretty sure they were. They are. They have been 1 and 2 for at least 2 seasons now.
I think so. I don't know. Tyreek Hill was the wide receiver one for a good stretch.
Yeah, like I can go back a year and okay, so a year back in keep trade cuts and back on, yeah, like Chase has been either 1 or 2 since what, November of 2022. He has been either 1 or 2. And I don't want to get this one wrong. But yeah, he has been either 1 or 2 since October of 2021.
Okay. Well, then maybe I'm wrong with that because well then no, I'm definitely wrong with that because my argument was the volatility. But then again, I guess we're not putting Puka Nakua at one or has the three shifted? I guess is the question.
Oh, the tree has
Obviously,
probably shifted.
obviously, like okay, so obviously it shifted when Puka got there. So how long did the person who had three before Puka stay
He
at three?
actually he actually isn't three on Keep Trade Cut right now. He's still not at
Where
that level. It was just the guy on Reddit who said, "Is he three right now, ahead of AJ Brown?"
Oh, okay, okay. I thought he was three. Oh, my bad. I was under the
No,
assumption
no, no. He's
that's fair.
11. He's 11 still. Like people haven't gone like completely
Well,
cahoots. Some
yeah,
people,
they haven't. Well, that's still a wide receiver one in
yeah,
Dynasty.
which is crazy still. But yeah, like the wide receiver tree has shifted quite a bit. Now it's AJ Brown. Like to start the season, it was probably Tyreek Hill. I want to say Amon
Do we
Ra gets.
overreact a little bit? So, like, obviously, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, you said they've been locked in for at least a year plus. Do we overreact a lot with the wide receivers under like the top guy in a given year?
I
Or is it
think,
or is it that it's so like flush with talent that it's kind of hard to decipher who's three, who's five, who's seven?
yeah, I think it's a bit of that. It's basically like they fluctuate, but like the difference isn't major between the two guys. Like for example, wide receiver seven to wide receiver three, the difference on keep trade cut is around 700 points, for example. So that's
Which is what in draft capital.
700 points is like a third, I believe.
So the difference between the third is the difference between the third
Yeah,
best wide receiver in dynasty and the seventh best. Okay.
yeah. And like for example, but like the difference between one and two, it's around 10 points. And the difference between one, two, and three, it's over 1,000 points. It's like
Mm-hmm.
1,500.
Right.
So 1,500 is about the late second. So there's a bit of a difference there. Like they're saying that the difference in value between like the three guy and the seven guy, the probably eight guy as well, it's around half of what the difference is between the one and two guys to the three guys. So there's a bigger drop there.
So basically, if you don't have Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, you're chasing Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase right now.
Yeah, like
Obviously, that could
if
change.
if you have AJ Brown, who is now like wide receiver three, and you can get any of the other wide receivers in the like 4 to 7 range plus something, you just do it. Same for everything, like every combo here. Because like any given year, those guys will just rise up and on the board, but the one and two will stay the same. Like as like my argument for liking wide receivers also is this: like Jefferson is out for 4 weeks, maybe more because the team hasn't like said that he will be back once he's out of the IR once the 4 weeks
I'm
have
pretty
passed.
sure after beating the 49ers, they may change their tune on that. Just call
Could
it
be.
a hunch. Call it a hunch.
Yeah. And yeah,
But no,
like he has gone from like 9,999 points to 9,996 points. Like they just don't lose value because they are still elite. And they have like a shelf life of I don't know 10 years.
is it? I guess that's debatable.
Like when did Tyreek get in the league? Wasn't it like what 6 years ago?
Tyreek might retire before
The
that 10
10.
years comes up. Yeah.
Yeah, could be for sure.
But
But yeah, like my
regardless,
point
yes,
is
they have longer shelf lives than the running backs. The running back one is as volatile as anything else. Like
exactly.
I I love me some running backs because a running back, like a true running back one season can win you a playoff. Like just bar none. and that's kind of why I'm gravitated more towards it because I'd rather just win. You know, I know
Yeah,
you
but
like to
like
play the long game. I want to win.
with the way running backs have been deployed right now, like more running back by committee, like more usage of another back, those true elite running back one seasons are starting to sort of fade away and getting
True,
matched by the true wide receiver one seasons. So
that is also true.
I'd rather have the guy whose value won't be like cut in half if he has a big injury, basically.
I get behind that. So,
Like for example, like just to close out here, Diggs is 8 years into his NFL career. He's wide receiver 10. So he's still a wide receiver one, 8 years in. Like find me the running back who is a running back one, 80 seasons in.
the only example I could have of that is maybe Frank Gore.
Maybe, but I don't think he was a running back 10. I didn't play back then. I think like Frank Gore is probably 50. Um, but like, okay, McCaffrey is 6 years in, and he is the running back two.
Which is also impressive, by the way, for Christian McCaffrey.
It is. It is impressive for a running back to be like that high at a 27 years old.
So 8 years in, Frank Gore had a 1,100 yard, 9 touchdown season. So I think that's safe to assume that's a running back one season.
But would he have been like a dynasty running back one still?
That's a good question. Now that's a
Yeah.
different question. Obviously,
Yeah.
we don't know because this was 8 years in for Frank Gore was 2013. I think Dynasty was just generally speaking still in the infancy stage. So, I'm sure we didn't have keep trade cut in 2013.
We sure didn't.
so, so I mean, I guess in that sense you'll never know.
Yeah, I agree. Something that we didn't discuss in the previous episode, but Jameson Williams. Yikes.
6 targets, no receptions. Apparently, the people in the Lions organization don't have the most glowing review of him right now. You still on board?
Yeah.
Do
He
we
had like, I would say he had one bad drop, the touchdown.
have we done
Um,
Jamison Williams or?
uh,
Because if
I
not, we're doing it right now.
I think we sort of did, but his value probably took a hit since.
Let's do it right now, live on air. Jamison Williams or let me get this up. Poor Alex. He's just taking all the strays today. Let's go to the rankings. All right, rankings. Let's see how far. One quarterback or super flex.
Guess you can do one QB.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Gee.
You might have to scroll down a bit.
Oh God! I found his tier. Oh God! It's not just a bit. It's like multiple pages. Tier 5. Nope. Okay. Okay. No, that's way too far. There he is. There we go. Jameson. Oh. All right. We're just gonna start off with the thing that's right above him. Jameson Williams or a late 2026 first.
I would still take Jameson. I still believe in the talent.
Over a late 2026
Yeah, like we might not be alive by 2026. So
You're not wrong. Jameson Williams or Rasheed Rice?
Like,
Ooh.
is a Rishi Rice what we hoped Skymore would be? Is like
Let's not
Rishi actually for real?
talk about Skymore.
I guess I'll take Rishi Rice. Because
Jamison
I
Williams,
sort of think he's for real.
Jamison Williams, or Tank Dell.
Not that one I don't think is for real. So I'll take Jameson.
Okay, Tank is ahead of him for the record. Oh wow, Jamison Williams or Damian Pierce.
Damian Pierce would have fall from grace. Damn.
They're in the same tier.
Um, which is saying something about Pierce. Um, I think I'll take Jameson because I think Pierce will be replaced next draft. Like I always said, he was always just a 1 year play. I'm glad I moved basically everywhere.
Oh no, Jamison Williams or Taji Spears.
Like, Ajay actually looks nice when he's out there. But Tajay might have a shorter career than Gurley. So I'll take Jameson.
All right, let's do some more interesting ones. Ooh. Oh my, these I cannot believe these guys are in the same tier. Jamison Williams or Terry McLaurin?
Yeah, people are down on Terry.
For real.
Yeah, he's also 28. Just
He
like
is.
4 seasons in. That was always the concern, is that it was quite a late prospect.
Uh-huh.
I would still take Terry McLaurin though. Terry's my guy.
Here's an interesting one. Jamison Williams or Amari Cooper?
Will Amari Cooper ever play with a good QB again?
Probably not.
Yeah, I think I'll just take the upside of Jameson.
Oh my god. Jamison Williams or Justin Fields?
Jameson Williams. At least Jameson will
Just,
have a job next year.
Justin Fields is ahead of him, and yes, that's not in Superflex.
People are still way too high on Justin Fields.
Oh no. Jamison Williams or Kieran Williams?
That's still Jameson for me. I'll take Jameson over most running backs.
Okay. Jamison Williams or Calvin Ridley?
Are they even in the same tier?
Yes.
What?
Well, within one tier of each other. Calvin Ridley's
What?
tier 10, Jameson's in
That's
tier 11.
that's a massive fall from grace from Calvin.
Yeah, he's down 28 spots.
Yeah, and it's justified. Like,
Hold on, let me just go by 30-day trend and see what happens. Can I go by I can't go by 30-day trend. Oh man.
it's Jameson for me, I guess. But you can get more for Calvin Ridley. But he's not the wide receiver. I got that one right. It didn't look like it after week 1, but I got that one right. Calvin Ridley isn't hit. What other news were there? I think there was another piece of news. I guess this one. Jerome Ford, I think he will be out a week or two. I believe they considered it like a nigh ankle sprain, but it's a low, I don't know, low grade or something like that. So not super impactful, but
Will
he
Deshaun
will be out. No,
will
Jerome Ford.
Jerome Ford. Okay.
Yeah.
Will Deshaun
So
Watson be out there so he can throw interceptions while on the run?
I haven't seen any indication of he won't. So Yeah, I think it's
Boy,
it's gonna be Deshaun. Deshaun throwing the picks. So Kareem Hunt gets the play. We didn't talk about it, but like, did Arthur Smith just like give the ultimate middle finger to the fantasy football fans and players with the Bijan?
okay. We'll address this because we need to address this. Supposedly, air quotation marks, Bijan Robinson had an illness, a physical illness or whatever,
Yes.
and that's why they limited his touches.
Very interesting to never report any of that. And they are being investigated by the NFL due to that.
Are you think they're tanking to get a quarterback?
Oh, absolutely not. Like
You
that
don't
team
think
is
they're
not.
tanking?
No, that team is not good enough. They won the game
They won the game.
despite Desmond Ritter's best attempt. They won the game.
So like so you own one of these assets for the Falcons. Maybe you own multiples. Maybe you own Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and or Bijan Robinson. What do you do? Do you just pray?
Like
You
we
you just find peace.
give this like some crap, but like Bijan is running back 10 on the season, even with the dud.
Yeah.
Drake London is wide receiver 28 after the dud on week 1. Ever since, he has scored 18.7, 5.1, 11.8, 14.9, 21.5, 11.4, and has seen 7 or more targets in 5 of the last 6 games. The one he didn't had like 7 targets, he had 6. So he's getting the targets and he's getting production, so Drake London is fine.
Is 6 targets really getting the targets?
I mean, he had 7 for 5 of those 6 games.
Do you know
He
who's
had
getting more targets than Drake London?
who?
Kenny Pickens or George
Kenny
Pickens.
Pickens.
George Pickens. Sorry, I I combined Kenny Pickett and George Pickens. It's really easy to do. Promise. But George Pickens is getting like 10 targets a game with Kenny Pickett throwing to him.
I mean, yeah, like the targets aren't optimal, but he's still like, I don't know, who is getting like more targets than him or less targets than him, I guess. Like Pickens has 48 targets on the season, and how many does Drake London have? Yeah, Drake London has 50. Pickens did have a bye already. London didn't. But I mean, it's not a bad number of targets. He's like 1 target off of DJ Moore and the same amount of targets as Devonta Smith. Like the targets are fine for Drake London. Like he's getting a good bunch of targets. Like he has played what, 7 games? He has 50 targets. So he's averaging around 7 targets a game. That's not bad.
I don't know, man. I'm sorry, but there's just something about getting 6 targets a game, and you say he's getting no 6 targets, 6 targets, man.
He's averaging 7 targets a game
Okay,
with like the first week having like 1. So that's a big outlier.
I guess that's fair. It's fair. He's getting more targets, but
If you take out the outlier, he's averaging 8 a game. 8 a game is fine. Like for context, like for example, Diggs is getting 11, and he's like one of the top 5 best receivers in the game, and it's an high passing volume team. So
continue for a second. 1 sec.
yeah, like I think you just sort of hold everyone. Like the one who's more concerning is Cal Pitts, but other than that, I mean, it's fine. Like Pitts has like 2 of the last 3 games he has been fine, and Bijan has always been fine the whole season. He won't have like the crazy ceiling, but he's fine. Um, Drake London is doing okay as well. He's a nice wide receiver too. We won't have the ceiling that we once expected right now, but he's still giving you good production as a wide receiver too. So I'm not that worried about the Atlanta Falcons offense. Other than that, I mean, I believe there was one or two another piece of news that we needed to talk about. Um, yeah, Karen Williams went on IR prior to the game starting. There were some reports on who would be the starter going forward between Royce Freeman and Daryl Anderson. And then, like last second, there was a piece of news that said that Daryl Anderson would start, and he got the majority of the workload. So Daryl Anderson is probably the play going forward. Christian Watson injured his knee in the last play of the game. It didn't look great, but apparently he said he's gonna be fine. So what the hell was that? Oh, great. Yeah, I mean, other than that, out of the oh, what is up, Justin?
Hey,
Angelo not here to introduce our guest of honor.
sounds all right.
Yeah,
How you doing today, Alex?
I am fine, Justin. How about you?
Uh, Doctor's appointments.
Did you
Other
give
than
some thoughts to? First of all, how did that go? Unless you don't want to talk about it here, but all
oh,
good.
it's nothing. It was
Okay,
just some eye appointments. I drove
all right,
home halfway blind so I could get here.
all right. But you got here. That's what matters.
Yes.
I guess since Angelo isn't here, but like Justin has been playing with us in the Dynasty House League for I don't know. I think you joined like a year or two after Angelo, so I've been playing for what 5 6 years in the league with us. So long time member, and
I
like
want to look at your trade now.
and him and I have like this thing in which like we never settle down on a value. We always like have some discrepancies, so we haven't made a single trade since he joined, I believe.
Let's see. There's Angelo's trades that I'm rejecting. Or at least one of Angelo's trades. He sent me something for Stephon Diggs too.
I am aware.
He told you.
Yeah, he didn't say what he had offered, but he said he was gonna offer something.
I was trying to find that one trade you were talking about. I guess I didn't see it earlier whenever you offered it.
Oh, since we were working on this one, I just rescinded the other one. So
Oh, okay. Because the only thing I saw was the Sam Howell one. I never saw anything other than that.
yeah, I sent the Sam Howell one first, and then I sent the other one like a bit before you mentioned it in chat.
See, I didn't see it. I was already gone driving around making. So I had two different doctor's appointments. So going from one to another.
Okay, got
Let's
it.
see. Let's see what we got. I am intrigued on this one.
Mine are Angelo's.
Yours.
Okay, I mean I think it's a solid offer.
See, the one thing looking at both of y'all's, I think you're offering the better wide receiver one because y'all both offer two wide receivers. The difference is he offered me two first while you offered me one.
Okay,
But neither one of y'all's first is going to be a top first either, no matter what.
yeah,
So there, I can get two late first, and then the two receivers he sent, or I can get the two receivers you can't sent and one late first.
and my wide receiver package is probably better, so that's why you're sort of in the
Christian
fence.
Watson is what I like. Sky
Yeah,
Moore, eh,
he'll just be what it
he's
is.
there.
Maybe it turns into
Yeah,
something, maybe don't. So just he was basically a sweetener. The bulk is Watson in the pick.
yeah.
Yeah, so Angela just completely disappeared on us, so that's always fine.
I messaged him and told him I was here, seeing if he never responded.
Yeah. So he needs to come in and defend the trade.
I am so sorry. A cool thing happened at my house. How is everyone?
Yeah, same here.
There
Something
you
like
go.
fell off the shelf or
So,
something.
how was the Justin and Alex conversation going?
It was going fine. He was just mentioning that he was intrigued by both of our trades.
Cool. So, Justin.
Yeah.
So, one thing that Alex and I, because obviously you missed the start of the episode, one of the things Alex and I was reminiscing on was the fantasy leagues that we've been in throughout the years and some of the like heartbreaks, maybe something that completely broke us. Have you experienced that in any fantasy league so far? Like, what is your most heartbreaking story in a fantasy league?
J.K. Dobbins. That's my biggest heartbreak ever in fantasy football, and
JK.
I've held on to him way too long because Alex really wanted him last year, and I just didn't want to move him, and that was the biggest mistake I've made so far in
You keep
fantasy football.
you keep billing me out on those because I also wanted Najee. So that's two bailouts.
Oh no!
I wanted Najee and J.K. and I said no to both. Well, J.K. Okay, so J.K. was my first year. J.K. was my first ever draft pick in Dynasty football. I had never played Dynasty. I didn't know what Dynasty was. Angelo brought me in, and that was my first ever pick. So that's my issue with J.K. Like, that was my first ever pick. He was like the person I wanted to be good. So that's why I've always said no on J.K. trades. Najee, I don't know. I had high hopes, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, I had high hopes for Travis Etienne too, and then I shipped him off and he turned into something.
Yeah, I had high hopes for Javante, and he is something, just something.
Who would you rather have, Javante or J.K. Dobbins?
Oh, Javante.
Javante at least plays.
Javante has a future in the league. That's the difference. Might
If,
not be a
if
long
Jake,
one.
if you could put the stipulation on healthy, it would be J.K. in my opinion. But You can't do that, so it'd have to be Javante just because of JK's health.
Yeah.
All right.
JK is definitely not the guy you want when you're talking about health.
So let's get into it. What to you was
He disappeared again.
I disappeared, sorry. So Justin, what for you was the catalyst for the Alex tax, and what is the Alex tax to you?
So my thing is, when I go through, when I first joined, the team that I had at the time was blah.
Blah.
And for a hot second, for a season or so, I made it something to a certain extent. Now, unfortunately, some of the big moves that I've made have now fizzled out. Like my Dalvin Cook trade was a great trade. I don't even remember. It was some. I don't even remember who they drafted with that pick. It was a running back. I want to say it might have been Cam Akers. Yeah, that trade, that like that was a good one, and now he's fallen off. Like moves I've made, the only move I've made besides the first trade I ever did, which was got me Patty and Stephon Diggs. Like they've helped me for a short amount of time, but my situation with Alex Tax is when I joined, my team was crap. I've made it to where it was, but looking at the teams when I joined, he already had established probably one of the best teams in the league. Now other people have built, but his team just off the jump reminds me of when you. It reminds me of when you play Madden and you play these franchises like me and you do, Angelo, and these people have these stacked teams, and you're just
Justin, you're one of the people. You have the
what?
stacked team.
When?
Always.
No. Well, I'm talking about. It
You out here with
depends.
Miles Garrett and Joey Bosa.
When? I don't ever get Miles Garrett. I think you think of Austin. Austin was the one that played Miles Garrett at D tackle. Just saying. That was not me. But I mean, when it's us three, yes. But when it's like full leagues, I can't. I don't. When we're doing it with computers, yeah, that's nothing. But when you're doing full leagues like we are now, me and you, and like you have like Raiders and Mark, and like they have their stupid stack teams and great players, like that's what I've viewed Alex as. Alex's team was just stacked, and he could just get what he wanted because he had so much extra. Like his bench were starters for me when I first got into this league.
That's fair.
So
Alex's roster was stupid stacked, especially from I'd say about 2018, 2019 till about just recently.
That's why I always said if I traded with Alex, I needed sweeteners. Like I don't want to help someone that's already overloaded.
I don't want to. But here's the thing. I guess here's the counter argument. I'm going to play devil's advocate. There also is like a vacuum where you did get this person to overpay, even if it's by a little, whether it's by a little or a lot. You got this person to overpay. Why not just take your win? Why try to get more and more?
There's a difference. So whether it's a little overpay or a lot of overpay, it depends on what the overpay is. Because just because your numbers say he overpaid,
right?
One of the players that he might offer me, I might hate. I might not like. So that overpay means nothing to me if I don't like the player, or if I don't have any hope of believing the player. That's like Madden logic. Let me throw a whole bunch of crap in there and hope it gets me the trade. Like it used to work, but like Madden nowadays, it doesn't work anymore because they take into just stacking stuff in there. Like me and him were talking a minute ago. Sky Moore is not someone I'm high on. There's a reason they traded back for McCole Hardman.
That's fair. It's a fair assessment.
But I mean,
so I guess then here's the question. Then you said that it has to be a deal you like and you want a sweetener. Well, if that's the case, what's the sweetener? Because you have just said, McCole Hardman's not someone that's a sweetener. Whether or not you like the dude or not, and I guess that does matter because that ultimately dictates whether or not you accept a deal or not. That is a sweetener, and that is something to somebody. Now,
It
granted,
could be. But
now
if I think the guy's going to be out of the league in 2 years, I mean, is it really a sweetener?
potentially. So something Alex is really good at, and I'm at least trying to get better at, is Alex will gauge the rest of the league, and he will acquire players that he doesn't necessarily like, but he thinks he can move somewhere else at either a profit or to get someone that he does like. Now, I haven't seen you do too many trades in just about any league I'm in, so I'm going to assume that you don't go out and you don't try to, you know,
Oh, I
move
have.
players to do trades. You have?
I have.
What have you found?
No one wants to trade.
No one wants to trade with you. Why? Okay, so then why do you think no one wants to trade with you?
They don't value what I have. I don't know.
They don't. Well, that's the counter thing. They don't value things the same way you do. That's, I guess, why at the end of the day, like trade calculators, whether it's Keep Trade Cut, whether it's Dynasty Dominator, are nice, and that's cool to get like a gauge. But at the end of the day, you have two different people with two different opinions. So, if Justin Jefferson is the top wide receiver on every trade calculator, but the person you're trading with thinks it's Jamar Chase, and you have Jamar Chase, then you can get that. You can get more for Jamar Chase because they think he's worth more.
Yeah. Numbers are good to have, but if it also comes to preference.
Oh no, 100%. And what you believe in and what you don't believe in. There's obviously homerism. I'm a Bengals fan, so obviously like T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, those people. I actually don't try to acquire them because I think the homerism lends me to overpay for them. So, but I have.
But you acquired one. No, you traded one.
Yes, I acquired one, and then I acquired Jamar Chase, and then I traded him for Justin Jefferson because to me, Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the league right now.
My thing is, I also just recently. I'll talk about the Alex trade. The
Okay.
trade that we had. Yes, he did overpay to a certain extent. Yes.
Yeah, it's not.
But I also look at it as of right now, in my opinion, Alex is desperate.
Okay. Fair
And
enough.
desperation takes into place when it comes to a trade. To see what you can, to push a little bit to see what you get. That's why I didn't offer anything recent. I offered a 2026. I don't know how Alex cares about stuff that 3 years out.
He's out right now, but when he gets back, we can. Actually, when he does get back, I want to kind of discuss your guys' mindset on the deal because I want to. This at least is interesting to me because it gets like two people who have been in discussion in a trade all day and their different perspectives of a trade, essentially. So I kind of want to.
To be fair, we haven't actually been in discussion all day. I've been running around for doctor's appointments. He sent it, but when it's been there all day.
I wanted to see where your gauge was too. And you said my deal was interesting.
Your deal's okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
I look the two first get me on yours.
Right.
Neither one of y'all's first is going to be a high first, but
Well, that I offered.
huh?
The one that I offered isn't a high first.
Well, you offered me two.
Right.
And neither one of them are going to be high. He offered me one. It's not going to be high. But Watson's better than Dobbs. And Watson's also better than Rondell. I'm not high on Rondell. I like him.
Okay, that's fair.
But
that's fair. I get it.
This was Madden. I was like, yeah. But
oh yeah, Madden, he has the cheat code. So let's see. You're a Giants fan.
Mm-hmm.
So we have talked about the Giants a few times. At times they look like the worst offense in the league, but the defense looks nice. and at other times they look like a decent offense, and the defense looks terrible. So, what is your take on the Giants so far this year?
Since day one, we've been missing our left tackle.
And
Evan Neal is a bust.
Evan Nielsen.
And our best offensive lineman is a center that I didn't know we had.
Yeah.
We drafted him in a late round pick. So without Andrew Thomas, it makes it difficult. But like our offensive lineman is put together with people I didn't know we had.
Yeah, it's duct tape
So
together. Yes.
like I watched a video the other day. It was a video where it was against the Dolphins. They lined up. Evan Neal had a guy to his right.
Okay.
The center and right guard had a guy in between them, kind of.
Okay.
When Daniel Jones said hut, Evan Neal went for the tackle.
That was lined up in front of the guard and center?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
The end walked right past him. The end wasn't like standing up a distance away. No, he was on the line.
That's crazy. I know I believe they drafted him and he was like 21.
Fifth.
So yeah, they drafted him 5th overall, but when they drafted him he was like 21, so he was young and I'm sure he needed to develop. But he's what, 2-3 years in at this point, like
This is his second year.
yeah. But, some things have to start clicking. Is my point.
Like I understand you getting beat. Cool. It happens. But when you're blatantly not like focused and you're not paying attention and you're not getting hands on people, that is more than just needing to improve your abilities.
So do you think Brian Daboll and the coaching has any blame on that, or do you think that's all Evan Neal?
Don't get me wrong, like I could be coaching, but Andrew Thomas turned out fine.
Right. No,
We got a stud center that's been playing lights out, and he was a nobody. So I don't know how much it is coaching or just how much it is can't fix special.
Yeah, you can't fix the deficits that Evan Neal has.
Yeah.
No matter how much they work on it.
Like, and it doesn't help that our wide receiver core is blah. Like, it's Darren Waller or nothing. So,
Yeah.
no low line, no wide receiver core.
So, do you think that, because something that I will say, being a Bengals fan and watching, I get to watch every team in the AFC North twice a year, basically. One thing I will say about the way the Pittsburgh Steelers usually, construct a roster is usually they try to start with like the targets, then they focus on the offensive line, then they get the quarterback. Obviously, they haven't done that with Kenny Pickett, and the offensive line was in shambles his first year. But they did have the weapons. So, do you think that you should have taken a more like, we need to get the other things before we got Daniel Jones? Like, do you kind of regret Daniel Jones with a top 5 pick?
So, I'll say this, and this is what I said when we drafted him.
Yeah.
I wanted Daniel Jones when we drafted him.
100%. Yeah.
I don't think he was a top 5 pick. I think we reached. The issue is Daniel Jones was David Gettleman.
Yeah.
David Gettleman was the worst GM you could possibly ever have in your organization.
He's pretty bad, dude.
He is the worst. Beyond, without a doubt, the worst. And he was the worst thing for us. And right now, we are still getting over the David Gettleman.
You're getting over David Gettleman.
I mean, you gotta look at it like this. Carolina's still getting over David Gettleman.
You're not wrong. I actually don't think the Carolina roster as a whole is that bad. I just think the wide receivers are ooh. Like
That's
you
their
got
fault for getting rid of DJ Moore.
yeah. I mean, they had to get rid of DJ Moore to get Bryce Young in the building.
Was he part of that trade?
Yes,
Okay.
he was
Yeah.
the pick that got Bryce Young. Now, funny enough, the Panthers also traded their first round pick next year. So right now, maybe not right now, but last time I checked, the Bears currently own the number 1 and the number 2 pick of the 2024 draft.
What kills me is like watching these drafts year after year. Um, the year that Justin Fields was drafted,
Mm-hmm.
the Giants had that pick. We had 10.
Yeah, you
We
traded
trade.
to the Bears. Go ahead, sorry.
Yep, and we got their first round pick for the year after. Blah blah blah. Cool.
Yeah, didn't you have like two top 10 picks? Two top 10 picks. That's what I think it
No,
was.
we had 2 top 5s.
You had two top 5s?
Was it top 5s?
I think it was like 5 and 9. I think it was two top 10s.
I think we had 3 and 5 because we took
something
Tibbs and Neal.
Yeah, and Tibbs has been great.
I think it was 3 and 5. But my thing is, at 10, we could have took Micah.
What you're saying? You would rather have gone Tibbs and Micah?
No,
Double
no,
up on pass rush?
no. We wouldn't have been. So Micah was um the year before, I think. Yeah. So it would have been instead of trading that pick and getting the extra pick, which got us Neal. We could have gotten Micah Parsons instead of whoever we drafted Tony that year.
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, that was the year we traded back and we drafted Kadarius Toney. So instead of trading back and then getting in the trade back, we got Kadarius Toney and Evan Neal. Instead of doing that, we could have gotten Micah Parsons the first year, and if we played as bad as we did, still we would have been able to get Tibbs.
Yeah,
Or they
and
might not
that
even win Tibbs.
That would be a pretty nasty pass rush, Micah Parsons.
They might not even win Tibbs at that point in time because we have a Z's, so it'd have been a Z's and Parsons, and then they might have still went the bust of a Neal.
Okay, so I want to take a few steps back because Alex just got back, but it was about Justin's way of thinking as far as deals go, and I kind of want, as two people who have been generally discussing the trade all day, I want you guys to kind of discuss your guys' perspective on, trades as far as what's a kicker, as far as a sweetener, and how you guys kind of approach a trade.
yeah. I was listening to everything. I just wasn't here, but yeah,
Oh, okay, sure.
it's kind of what you said. It's like I usually always tend to find the guys that are probably like undervalued in some situations and that I think I can flip for. So that's because I think like that. That's how I usually propose trades. So, for example, like Sky Moore, it's a guy that it's probably not super valuable right now, if anything. Do I still think he has a chance to be something? I do. So that's why I sent him in this trade. It's a sweetener because he has a guy with upside. Now, Justin might not like him, and that's totally fair. But it's someone that like he could take on and could gain some value because he's still young and like a couple of good games might really like rise his value. Which, for example, a guy like I don't know, like Zach Ertz, like he's never gonna value. Like he is what it is right now. But a young guy like Sky Moore, for example, he has the upside to be something. Now, again, as Justin said, he doesn't see like a future for Sky Moore in the league, and that's fair, I guess. So that's like those pockets of value that you need to find that probably makes the trade a bit less attractive. But again, I treat those guys as basically sweeteners. So not the big piece in the deal. The big piece in the deal is Christian Watson at the pick.
I didn't realize Christian Watson's technically doing worse than Sky Moore this year.
He
Like
was
he didn't
injured
play
like to
for
start
4
the
weeks.
season.
Yeah, yeah, he's only played 3 games.
Yeah, he's back now. But yeah, that's basically it. I do like to find those guys that maybe like for example, Skymore was a guy like that. I got him as a sweetener in the trade as well. Or no, Skymore was I'm not thinking about Skymore. I'm thinking about like one Thornton, for example, was a guy that I got basically as a throw in an AJ Dillon deal because I think it's a guy that was being undervalued. Now, if he starts to rise and gain some traction in the New England offense, maybe he's worth a bit more than I got him for, and then I can flip him.
So
That's usually the
I'm gonna
type of guys that I target.
but here's the thing. Like I have been afraid to acquire anyone in the New England offense. I don't care if it's Ramondre Stevenson. Like there's just something about that offense that just looks cursed.
Kendrick Bourne's been playing really well.
Exactly.
And the random guy that they just got off, like I think it was an undrafted free agent or something, like the Mario
Only reason
Douglas.
why I know Bourne's been playing good is he's on my bench in the other league.
Yeah,
But that's exactly it. Like you don't know what wide receiver is going to be what. Like quite honestly, if you took the strategy of just drafting a bunch of late round Patriots picks, that's probably a better strategy than the guys who are hyped up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna. I would be more okay with that because then at least I didn't invest anything into it, and if they don't pan out, they don't pan out.
yeah, but I'm not trying to pay up for the guys like Taekwon Thornton. Like I sold AJ Dillon for a second and got Taekwon Thornton thrown in, so like it's
That's
a
fair.
throw in, so not a big investment. Just something like you're buying at absolute lowest that maybe can turn into something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
That's
like
interesting.
in that trade scenario, I would disagree with Justin's take that I'm desperate. I'm kind of like I am going with the motions right now. Like I know I need to do something, but if I don't, then I'm like
Then you're
it is what it
screwed.
is.
Then
But
you just accept
it's
fate.
kind of like it's kind of just it is what it is because like on one hand I can admit that this is probably one of the weakest team that I've had in a while, but on another like I lost by what 0.35 points without half of my team. Half of my starting team was either injured or on bye, so
Not pretend. Let's not pretend you faced a top team. You faced a team that's like third in their division and lost.
yeah, that's totally true, but like still 100 and something points, which like isn't super great, but
No,
at the same time, like without half of my team, I'm pretty sure that if you put like most of, for example, I was looking the Pac-Man Pro guy, the one that I'm sending the pic to Justin. Like if half of his team went down, he would be starting guys like I don't know Mac Hollins or Jake Bobo or Jonathan Mango. Like I think like I'm not doing good, but it's like I think it's going overboard.
so how do you view how do you view the importance of depth and how do you get it in a dynasty aspect then, Alex? Because obviously you want in dynasty, and this is a lot harder in dynasty. You want players who can come in when your starters are gone. But the thing is, especially in like when this is a 16 man referring to, especially in a 16 man, getting like players to just plug in is not the easiest thing in the world.
You have to sort of find those guys who are basically not super valuable, but at the same time, you sort of think that they are better than what they were. For example, like a guy that is always super undervalued, like Tyler Lockett. I got him off for basically, I think we were talking about this when I pulled the deal, but I think it was last season in the draft. I traded, I don't know, I think it was like the 15 pick overall when there was, like, the draft was pretty bad, like the 2022 draft. At that point, there was not really anything good. So I got him for that, and I also got a third turn in. Like, that's the sort of deals that you make to sort of add like a depth piece that isn't super that isn't being valued super properly, in my opinion. And that's how you just go and build that depth. Just to have some players, you also have to. One thing that I really like to do is like the downgrades and so on. For example, I don't know, like the McCaffrey deal, like that one wasn't super good, but I basically got at the end of the deal, I got for McCaffrey, I got a first, a second, a third, and David Montgomery. And like in terms of value, like Montgomery is nothing similar to CMC, but Montgomery in terms of production, like he's not gonna be CMC, but he's gonna be close enough to the point in which like I get a first, a second, and a third that I can use in talent elsewhere.
That's a really good point.
That's like what you need to do in order to have like good enough depth to face like, as I said, 5 injuries or players on bye and still feel like a competitive team. But now tell me, Justin, which trade are you gonna take?
Oh,
That one I haven't decided
he wants a live on record.
because I didn't realize about that one trade you were talking about, and I'm still thinking about that one.
So we're gonna play like that game.
Well, you brought it up, and I didn't realize you sent it to me. So thinking about that one, because if I would have saw that one, I would have went off that one. But no, I mean I'm looking at this one. We can stay where we're at here. I'm not changing nothing.
I mean, you can change
Um,
it. And like, I mean, you're the one who said it yourself. I mean, hey, you can change it.
yeah. Let me see.
I can send a different guy from Sky Moore, but like I think Sky Moore is right around the type of player that I would send because if we jump a tier up, it's like Marvin Mims or Jaden Reed, and those are two guys that I probably wouldn't send here. And if we go tier down, it's like Taekwon Thornton, Charlie Jones, players like that, which you probably value even less. So it would make it tricky.
Let me see something.
Give and take. That is the thing with trades. Trades is a give and take. You have to have two people who either have similar values as far as player goes, or two people who have completely different values, but the different values are on the opposite sides. It it's crazy. Trading is honestly the thing that makes Dynasty the most fun to me. What do you guys think?
Oh, for sure. Like the time that I have the most fun is like draft season. When those trades are running wild, that's usually the best.
Oh yeah, there you cannot beat draft season in a Dynasty, and especially if you got
Like I might legit have an addiction to trading, so
yeah you do. Probably why you're
Called
sitting here
gambling.
Davidson right now.
there was one trade in the redraft league, the streamer league that I usually talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I basically did a trade there in which I can like tell you the full deal. Where's the guy?
Trade Puka Nacua.
No. So I basically traded Gus Edwards and Wendell Robinson for Amari DeMarcado. Like that's the epitome where you're addicted to trading and you're just trading for the sake of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
I actually think like two of those guys ended up on waivers. Like I don't know, a day or two after.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just wrapping my mouth. Like, yeah. At that point, you're just trade. You just wanted to see the accepted deal.
Yeah, it's kind of like I didn't want to drop any of the guys that I sent. So I basically just traded for a guy who I thought had a tiny bit of upside. So that's how it came to be.
So, Alex, I traded Jerry Judy for a second round pick. Do you think a second round pick is about what Jerry Judy is worth?
I think it's a bit more. And I guess you can you can say that about our trade. our trade attempt as well in the other league
Yeah,
because you tried to get Jerry Judy from me
for a second. Yeah.
for a second. And after countless like back and forth, you just sort of gave up. Because I really want to get a one, but I know that Judy isn't worth a one, so I was trying to add things up to get the one.
Yeah, you're
See,
trying
in
to
this
add respect to
situation,
Judy to get a first. Yeah, I saw. I was like, yeah, he's trying to work it.
But
But
see, in
you
this
stick her in the
situation,
butt.
Judy is worth the first because what you did is you not only got Judy for a second, you took a player off Austin's team, which made it worse, which made that pick you have in your back pocket more valuable.
He's
I
being
caught that.
sneaky.
Justin caught my 4D chess move.
Oh, no, I saw it. Once I did it, I was like, he's only doing that to make Austin's team worse. And I was like, hold on, wait. Did Austin get the pick back? Is that why Austin's doing this? Like, I'm confused.
Nope.
So you're just basically following my strategy of buying players you think aren't properly priced to try and flip them.
No,
And then
he's just trying to make Austin's team
Well, I mean,
worse, so his pick is
you could
better.
be both. Jerry Judy could be undervalued, and I could just wait like whatever, or maybe I find someone who values him more, and he's worth more at that point. And if that doesn't happen, maybe Austin's pick moves up from 5 to 4 or 4 to 3. Win-win. Where's the loss? Where's the downside for me? Where is it?
That like Austin's team is still doing okay, and Judy is worth nothing.
Pretty much. That is worst case scenario.
Which like I think I need to check on the phone because Sleeper is really bad on the PC. I think like the gap between the top three and him is still quite like decent. Like it's like 70 points almost from Austin
Deal at a time.
to the third team.
One deal at a time. Who is the third team? It's me, it's Justin here, and who's number 3?
It's Call Me Book Nasty.
Oh yeah, that's pretty rough. That's pretty rough roster. I don't think Oscar's overtaken that.
Those are all of the three teams who are under 700 max points forward.
Let's go. I'm in an elite company.
You're the only team under 600.
Honestly, I didn't expect, like, it felt like I just blinked and then suddenly there was teams like I was competing with for the 1-0 and I was like, wait a minute, what? What's this? This is a weird feeling. I scored 100 points one week and I was like, wait, what? I can score 100 points? With what? And then, I don't know. It's surreal how quickly you can go from a unanimous 101 to not back in it, but competing against other teams. Yeah, you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying for a while that like you are still the worst team, but you're not that worse, and you've been kind of shrugging that off for a bit. But yeah, now it's starting to hit you. Like there's teams out there that are pretty close to your level. Now you're still like, I think you're 120 point clear right now of the 101, so that's quite a bit of a gap.
I had to trade Jamar Chase for that to happen.
Yeah, but now Jefferson might be back, and Brees Hall doesn't have his bye anymore.
You know what?
I don't think you're clear yet.
Especially not if I trade Patty Mahomes and Diggs.
If you traded Patty Mahomes and Diggs, I assume it would be to get. Maybe not. We'll see.
It'd be what?
Would you trade Justin's pick straight up for Patrick Mahomes in a 1-quarterback league?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
Yeah. I just think like at the current state, I'm fine riding Howell for the rest of the season, and then just having Richardson back. So I don't think I would spend the pick like that.
That's fair.
What was the pick that? What was the trade that you sent me earlier? Well, I can go
Me?
into our things. No, not you.
Oh, okay, Alex. It's one of the
People that
Alex
people
sent.
that send interesting trades.
What? That included Richardson?
Yeah,
So I think it was Richardson in your pick. Let me check because I think it's here
Diggs in a second.
somewhere.
That's what
Yeah,
it
so
was.
it was Richardson and your pick for Diggs, Mahomes, and a 2025 second. Like I don't know which one you would prefer here.
Honestly, I think if you added a little bit more, that I don't know how I feel about that. Just off the top of my head, I don't know.
Me, I feel like I'm overpaying.
You feel like
Yeah,
you're
in that one, I sort of like. I don't want to give that one. I don't want to be super loose with that pick because I still think that pick is gonna be right there for the 101. So I can't give like the absolute best of deals with that one. The other one I'm more loose, so I think you're getting a better deal with the other one, and you're still like not completely giving me the 101 for free because you still have Mahomes, you still have Christian Watson. So it sort of accomplishes both hands of trying to like screw me over the pick. So like I don't have the
this
101.
guy. He's playing
I mean,
And
it does, but it also that trades more in favor to you, even though it is a possibility of the 101, and I do air quotes, but that still does favor you, in my opinion,
yeah,
quite a
I,
bit.
I think I think it favors me. Yeah, if I'm being frank, I think it favors me, but it favors me just enough that it would make me trade the pick. Like if it didn't favor me that much, I wouldn't trade it. That's like sort of my point. And I think it basically guarantees you the 101 because if you don't have Mahomes and you don't have Diggs, I think you're a lock for the 101. Like that's what keeping you afloat.
You think he's a lock for the 101 without Mahomes and without Diggs?
Oh, for sure. Like did you know like okay, so I can just look here. So he scored 97 points this past week.
Sure.
Half of those were Mahomes and Diggs.
Ooh.
Yeah, it would be like right around your range of points. And you didn't have like Brees Hall this week, for example. And then when Jefferson comes back, that's when he starts to make up like the lost ground. He just needs to be like at the same level as you until Jefferson is back.
Right, right,
Because
right.
when Jefferson is back, he basically gets like 20 points advantage on you every single game, roughly. Like the week prior, he had 67 points. That duo scored 40. So you would have got like 27 with that duo, which is under you. So yeah, I think it's a lock for the 101 if he doesn't have those two players. If he doesn't have Diggs and he adds Christian Watson, I think it's still a mix-up because Call Me Buck Nasty is still sort of like alive to compete for the 102.
When your roster is too good to compete for the 101. Ooh. Ooh.
I don't know. It's so weird situation.
It's a bad feeling, man.
Yeah, like
You know what? You know what? Screw it. What if I got in on this deal and instead of like acquiring Diggs, I let you acquire Diggs, Justin acquire his pick back, and I send compensation, obviously, and I get some compensation. What would that look like?
I don't
Angelo
know.
just tried to be involved.
I did.
I
I
would
got the
need quite
hey,
a bit
I mean, let's
more.
be honest. I have the draft capital to make this work.
I would need quite a bit more to be honest, because I my main ask was Mahomes and Diggs to get rid of the pick basically, and if I'm
No,
just
I'm
getting
not saying
Diggs,
I'm No. I'm not. Maybe you can get Mahomes and Diggs, but I just add a buffer to Justin's deal to make him feel a little bit better about reacquiring his pick and giving him draft capital, and then you send me something. That's what I'm saying. That's what I. That's all. I'm just asking questions here. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but like at that point, you're probably gonna ask for more than I'm comfortable giving you.
There's the comfortable. There's the word.
It's a weird situation.
It's a very weird situation. That's the point. Ah!
Yeah, just send me like I don't need Mahomes. Just send me like Pickens and Jefferson, and I'm fine.
This guy.
Like those three for the pick. How about that?
This guy.
But yeah, I think Justin has a few decisions to make.
I think so.
Because he might prefer yours and just have like the two picks to play the draft game.
Not wrong.
Well, one of those picks is actually quite interesting because it's Luke's pick.
Yes. I
Yeah.
don't know what to expect from Luke. Luke could be a mid pick. He could be a late. Luke seems to be going all in.
Yeah, but Luke is like he doesn't have a whole lot to move.
Players about
Both the picks you sent me were from the same person.
Oh, they are both from Alex Miller. I thought. One
Yeah.
was from Luke.
Nah, they're both
How
same
does
person.
Alex Miller? Oh, it's in 2 different years?
Yeah, 2 different years.
Okay. I thought it was 2 picks in 2024.
No.
Okay.
I like the 2024 picks, man. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, like the Alex Miller pick is kind of wherever. The Luke pick is interesting because I think he has some nice pieces in there and he has managed to build a solid lead to the point in which I think he will be in the playoffs no matter what.
I think so.
But he currently doesn't have a running back. Like his best running back is Damian Pierce. The second best is between Gus Edwards and AJ Dillon because Kyron Williams just disappeared.
Hey, man, I offered him a deal for Brees Hall. He just didn't like the cost. So, is that what we got for today?
I don't know. Kind of seems like we're missing some points
Who's Luke?
because we just end on like massive tirades here about random things.
Had a lot of
Who's Luke?
the guy with the Steelers logo.
Yeah, LM something. LM
Oh, okay.
Markowitz.
Yeah, something like that.
Not sure
good. You need
if
to
I'm
run it back.
butchering that. Yeah. So
I'm
he's
sending.
in it.
I got a Najee Harris on the block.
The thing is, it doesn't have the picks, so you need to sort of go for players. And he's not trading most of those players, so it's a kind of a weird situation that he's in.
He wants to buy, but he's in a situation where he has to trade JSN. That's basically it.
And you won't trade JSN for anything.
No, exactly.
Oh,
But he has him on the trade block. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his stance on JSN, it's basically he wants to try and get an elite wide receiver because he has a bunch of 2s and he needs an elite 1.
Here's the thing: do you think JSN and Drake London get you a 1? Because maybe I don't know.
Depends. What is a 1? Like a dynasty wide receiver 1 in keep trade cut. Is that what we're saying?
I mean, I ran in keep trade cut, and Jamar Chase for JSN and Drake London came out even. I just didn't want to do it.
Because if we're just saying like a wide receiver 1 in keep trade cut, Chris Olave is a wide receiver 1, and I would trade him for Drake London and JSN.
Fair.
So would I trade any of the top 5 for him? For the duo? Probably not. But knowing me, I would probably just like go crazy for the youth and do it. So
This guy. This is how your roster
What's your
is.
value on Najee Harris? Not for you, just in general.
I'm sorry to say, but like I think he's dusted. You should trade him for I don't know what you can get right now, but whatever you can get, I would trade him for. Obviously not like a third or anything, but like I think he's not long for the tooth. I think he's almost done basically.
You think he's not long for this world, huh?
I was thinking, I just
Like I'm like he's behind War right now on keep trade cut.
Is he really?
Yeah. Like they are back to back basically.
you know what's funny is I have him in both leagues.
There's someone who lost as much value as Najee. Because he went from like I don't know, the running back 12 back in July to the running back 33 right now.
37.
I'm
I,
I'm
that's
seeing it.
a reflection. But it's just crazy.
Yeah, like that's nuts. But he just doesn't look good. Like Jalen looks so much better than him.
Is it because of all the touches he had at Alabama before he entered the NFL?
Could be. His appeal was also like he was quite of an older prospect, and like his appeal was that he was basically a do-it-all back. He was pretty good at receiving game and so on and so forth. But like talent-wise, like he just wasn't an elite talent. He never jumped off the tape for me. So that's why I had him as I think I had him as the three in that draft class. But like 4.57, he was never super like a super freak athlete. He just was a well built back that would take most of the carries, and his appeal was always that he went to the Steelers with Mike Tomlin, who usually likes the sort of backhorse running back like bell cow who takes all of the carries. So that's was most of his appeal. But yeah, like he just might be dusted. So get what you can, Justin.
He's like, get out while you can, if you can even still.
like like his value right now, like the players who have similar value to him are Jaden Reed, Luck Musgrave, Pat Fryermuth, Jerome Ford. Like, yikes.
I think I'd take Pat Fryermuth over him.
Yeah. And like the recent keep trade cut things, like a user had the chance to go between Kendra Miller and early 2025 second and Najee, and he ranked Najee as the worst option of the three.
Oh,
Yeah. For example, like worse than an early 2025 second.
oh my god.
Worse than Jerry Judy, for example, in another scenario here, who just went for a
There you go.
2024 second. So
Oh
yeah, he's around like the Luke Musgrave. There's plenty of Luke Musgrave, like keep trade cuttings, and he's like around that range. He's usually above him, but he's around that range. Like Gabriel Davis, Luke Musgrave, Brock Purdy, a second. That's about what you can get for Najee. Would you think that that's fair as a Najee owner, or would you be looking for more? Of course, he's always going to be a bust for where you picked him, but in terms of like
I mean, I'm gonna try to
trading
get
value,
more, but
okay.
whether
I
whether that happens is a different story.
yeah, that's yeah. I would also try and get more. Maybe just try and hold up a game because he did produce this past game. Just try and hold out a game and see if like if he can just do anything for a like decent stretch of time, and after that just move him. But then that's like a double-edged sword because if he just goes back to being nothing, then his price will just fall even more. So at that point, it's kind of like maybe you can get a second. At this point, it's like you can get a second. If you wait too much, it's probably maybe you can get a second. Or maybe you can get a first. So that's like the waiting game that you have there.
I'm just glad I drafted Jordan Addison in the Manning Race League.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. You almost beat Angelo there.
I thought I was gonna
Yeah,
lose.
if I wouldn't have been driving home from, or I was out of state and I was driving home, so I didn't know DK was out because I
Yeah,
played DK and he didn't score a point. If I started
if you
Najee,
start
I
like
would have won.
yeah, Najee exactly. If you
Or
start
Kendrick
Najee
Bourne.
like anyone.
Thanks for the win, man. I appreciate it. I could really use. I was 2-10 on the year. I was down on my luck. Didn't. I was looking into the abyss. I know. Did I send? I haven't yet to send you me having like multiple meltdowns today, but I definitely had multiple meltdowns today in, in fantasy football. Here, I'm just gonna show you a few of these. Here you go.
Austin Eckler getting me 9 points was a letdown.
There you go. You can read those and oh, not that one. There you
Yeah,
go.
like that's not gonna happen, Justin.
What's not gonna happen? Oh,
I just draw like the counter that he sent me. Yeah, that's like not enough value for me to sell the pick. Well, is there anything
It,
else we
it
need to
was
talk
this.
about?
It was the same trade, Angelo, with Pat Mahomes and Diggs, but I threw Watson in.
Yeah, just like a random throw in of Christian Watson.
there you go.
Well, like I said, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I understand where you're coming from on the pick, and I still look at it like without Christian Watson in there, like I'm still getting quite a bit under in that trade. I mean,
I think like with the trade that you send, I think you would be getting a steal out of that. You're basically like trading Mahomes for not a similar QB, but a probably a fantasy football like Konami QB sort of guy that won't get you any points this year. So it's basically like you get the value. Like for example, Anthony Richardson when he went down, I believe he was QB 5 or QB 6 in Keep Trade Cut. He's now QB 7, even though he's out for the year. So like you're still
but the
keeping the
question
value
is,
there.
but the question is he not? Is him being injured gonna be a consistent thing?
Oh, we've talked about it, and I really don't think so. Like, I think that's completely BS, basically. Like, looking at his injuries, like, okay, he had 2 injuries in 4 games, I think. Like, I think those were pretty bizarre injuries because, like, the first one, it's a concussion. I've seen that hit countless times. Like he was just being hit as he was going for the goal line, basically, as he was reaching for the pylon. It just landed funny, and his head bounced backwards, much like the Deshaun Watson fall that he had in that sack in which he threw the pick. That wasn't the pick in the end. So I think that was just a free concussion. Like he landed funny, like nothing much there. And then the second injury, which knocked him out for the year. I mean, the defender just fell with his full weight on his like shoulder. It's nothing. Okay, I guess you can say because he was running, but at that point, then do we just completely discredit every single running QB? Because that's sort of counterintuitive to what we have always done in fantasy football. Because if we're just saying like, okay, the guy ran, so that's why he got injured. I mean, sort of like he ran, yes, he went down, and like a weird hit by the defender that landed with his full body weight on Anthony Richardson's shoulder just hurt his shoulder. Like, I guess that's a football play. That's not really like, for example, there's plays in which you see the QB just going for an extra yardage and not being safe with himself, just completely throwing like
But that
no
also
regard
depends
for
on the
human
type
life.
of computer. I said computer type of QB. Anthony Richardson's that type of QB, so he's going to put himself at risk way more than any other quarterback. But in that trade, like you say, Anthony Richardson, whatever, cool. But with Pat Mahomes' top three every year fantasy, Diggs top five. Like that's two top.
Like, let me put it like this: if I offered you like next season, Anthony Richardson is healthy and all is good, wouldn't you jump at Patrick Mahomes for Anthony Richardson and Christian Watson?
For Anthony Richardson and Christian Watson,
Yeah, like Mahomes for those two.
I mean, there's a possibility. I see a little bit less upside for Christian Watson because of Jordan Love.
Okay.
That's
And
my only thing.
wouldn't you jump at Marvin Harrison Jr. for Stephon Diggs?
And I mean, depends on where he goes.
I would, the way that I see it, I would jump on both, like without thinking much. So that's basically how I'm like deconstructing the trade. So I would rather have Diggs than I would rather have Marvin Harrison Jr. than Diggs, and I would rather have Anthony Richardson and Christian Watson over Mahomes. That's basically how I see it. That's why I'm not offering you the pick for Diggs alone, because I do think that basically whenever like we get an official like Marvin Harrison Jr. is declaring, and he goes to the combine and blows faces, he's gonna be the wide receiver 3 in Dynasty.
Then he goes to the Patriots.
It doesn't even matter, to be honest.
It does to a certain extent.
I think is
Listen,
gonna be
if
like
there was a team that could mess him up, it's the Patriots.
Cleveland.
Like if there was a team that would make me regret getting the 101, it's the Patriots. It's like it's like when Chicago got Justin Fields. I was like, well, that's that.
yeah, but Justin Fields would bust whatever you went. Um, I just think like it doesn't matter for him. He's just such an elite talent that it won't matter. Like I guess you can say the same thing with like Calvin Johnson back when he went to the Lions.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
So and it didn't even matter. So I just like he's such a unique and such a like generational, like that word is used way too much, but in this scenario I think it's probably true. He's such like an elite
Six
sort
four
of
and
can't
athletic.
miss. Yeah, like he's an elite can't miss prospect to me, so wherever he goes I think he will dominate. So
Yeah, but you
that's
got to think
that's
about
how
it
I
like
see it.
this. Even if we were to do this trade, which I mean, if we did the trade, there is there's more of a possibility that I get 1-on-1. But if we don't do this trade, possibility of that being 1-on-1 is more slim by
Yes.
far.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is true. That is true.
Duality. Yes.
And that's
It's
that's something that I'm just taking the risk on,
so
basically.
Justin, there's a fork in the road. One road leads to Alex getting the 102. The other road leads to Alex getting Mahomes and Diggs, but you getting the 101. That's kind of the way.
You know what's funny is I said, what's his face that traded for Najee real quick, just to mess around to see what he would counter. I sent him a first for Najee, because his first is going to be low. It's like a 2025, 2026, whatever, because he doesn't have picks. He sent me Mahomes for that pick. No,
Ah! And now you just experience what me and Alex experience every single day. Congratulations. That's the experience. That's it.
Okay, I got an idea.
But don't worry. Come draft day, if you got a pick that and he wants it, that 2026 pick is going to go for that rookie pick. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's the dynasty experience.
And like in the scenario that you were mentioning of you not getting the 101, I still think that come draft day, I can flip the 102 for more than Diggs. So that's basically where I'm like, okay, I can take the risk because if it doesn't pan out, I still think I'm in the clear. Like if it's top 3 pick, I think it's worth Diggs or more basically. Now I might be wrong on that when the like we see the whole draft class like on
I
combines
don't
and so
know.
on.
Well, one, it depends on the draft class, but two, I mean, when's the last time you've had the 101?
The Pitts draft, Chase
Yeah,
Pitts,
yeah,
Javante.
it was that.
Where he was forced to take Pitts.
Yes.
That was just to mess with the ADP.
Okay,
Yeah.
Alex. The main thing that throws me off is throwing that second in,
On?
and that's on my side on that one trade with the Diggs Mahomes trade.
Okay.
The fact that you're wanting a second on top of it, because even like you said, Mahomes, whatever, Mahomes, Anthony Richardson, Mahomes is going to be better. Richardson's still going to be up there if healthy, and then Diggs is going to be top 5 no matter what. Now Marvin Harrison Jr. has the chance in the long run to be up there also.
Diggs is almost 30. That's the issue.
Hold on. All right.
But you know Diggs is someone you can move in the offseason, and he's going to help you win this year.
Diggs is someone he is gonna. Yes.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, he is going to move in the offseason.
Okay.
I will try, but the thing is like, folks just don't want old players.
So what's this?
He can come back to my team in the offseason after you use him to try to win the
Patrick
Super Bowl.
Mahomes. This is Stephon Diggs going to Alex, right?
I don't care who goes where. I'm just.
Oh, what's the deal?
Yes,
It would have been it's Diggs and Mahomes going to Alex, Richardson and my first coming to me. He also put a second on my end going.
Okay. 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 I'm going to do this live on air, and this is the only time I'm ever going to do this. So if you guys don't accept this, you guys can screw off. One sec. Going to Alex?
What?
A second going to Alex
Yes, for next year.
for next year.
Yes. So Alex will get Diggs, Mahomes, and a second for next year. I get Anthony Richardson in my pick this year.
it's funny that like the trade that we're talking about.
Accept it. Both of you accept this right now. Right now. There's no reason for you guys not to now. Go accept it right now. Accept it right now. I dare you.
I was gonna say.
I dare you. I dare you to accept it right now.
I was gonna say. It's funny that like this trade on Keep Trade Cut has
I
me
don't
winning.
care what the keep trade cuts.
No, this trade has me winning by quite a bit. Like 7,000 points, basically. Like something crazy. But the other one, as Justin winning it by like.
Yes, we understand. Who wins and loses a trade is subjective, except in this. I lose in this. But
I'm so confused on this trade.
what do you mean? What's confusing about it? Accept the trade.
No, I'm confused on how you're involved. You're just sending him a second for fun?
Yes. If you guys do not accept this trade right now, I am rescinding this trade. I am getting nothing. Nada. Nil. Zilch. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I don't feel good with that. So you're just like sending a second. So that's like as the commissioner of the league, I wouldn't let it slide if it was like a trade someone else made. So,
Okay, hold on then. Hold on.
but yeah, as I was saying, like that trade has me winning by around 7,000 points. The trade that I have sent you, Justin, the one with Watson in the late first.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, that one has you winning by like
I know.
4,000, and I prefer that one to the one that I'm winning by 7,000. And I think you're the other way around.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I like them both to a certain extent. Like I told Angelo, I was like, I like it, but getting my pick back, and then I can go into full tank mode at that point in time.
There you go. You guys feel better about that? I'm a commissioner of the league, and I like the integrity. Can't say nothing. Accept the deal. Accept the deal. Accept the deal, Alex.
I have not seen the deal yet.
Pretty much, it's the same deal, but we both sent him a third.
There you go. Call it headache, pay, whatever.
You can just take
Alex
my
sent
trade,
me-
Justin.
Alex
Accept
sent me
the
a
deal.
counter.
Accept the deal.
Alex just sent me a counter on the other trade.
Oh, see.
This is about to close down on the live.
Yeah, we are about to head out. So, are we getting this deal done live on air? Yes or no?
Justin, what says you?
You're involved too, sir.
You are involved too, sir.
Don't sit here and try to put this on me. This is a three-way trade.
Actually, you know what?
What? You're gonna accept the deal?
Just for you, Justin. Just because I want to get this one done.
He wants the other one.
He couldn't just accept the deal. He could just.
Okay.
He doesn't want to move Anthony Richardson.
Go ahead.
Is it done? Did my pandering work?
It is essentially the one that you sent me, like during the afternoon.
Where I added a second to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Remember the original one.
Yeah, this was the one that you countered. I'm just throwing a third on your, like, getting a third as a kickback. This is like what you asked for in a counter somewhere.
Somewhere
Yeah, you're good.
over the rainbow.
I think like that one is.
So, are you going to join us after we're done here, Justin, for 2K? Because if I'm not mistaken, oh no, the counter's in here too.
Deal was accepted.
Boom.
Done! We did it!
Not your trade.
We did it!
Not your trade, Angelo.
We did it! I don't
We
care.
just
Me,
took
man.
you off.
History was made.
Me and Alex did a trade.
Oh my god, it happened.
History was made.
Now I need to move Patrick Mahomes.
History was made. Right over here, buddy.
I'm still upset I don't have my pick.
You. What do you mean you don't have your? I thought you had the 101. Oh, maybe
I didn't accept that trade. He didn't want that trade.
Yeah,
Oh,
I paid
man.
extra to keep.
Alex doesn't want that trade.
He paid extra to keep his.
And that's the one that's gonna bite me on the championship
He
because
gave
I'm not getting Mahomes.
Yep. And that's what. Yep.
Well, this was a 2.5 hour episode.
Woohoo! We made it! Congratulations! we have a nice little donate button. You know what, Alex? You do. You and Justin, you cooperated. You got together. You did a deal. Congratulations, you guys get to do the outro. Take it off.
Yeah.
Angelo, you got to accept the trade for it to go through. You have to push it through. You know that, right? History's not made until it's done. There you go. Good job.
Now history was made. Okay, guys. As Angela said, we have a nice fancy donate button there if you want to help us out. Thank you for listening if you got this far as well. As always, you have the every single platform. If you're listening on podcasts, on Spotify, wherever of those platforms you're listening, just leave us a 5-star review. We always like those. And if you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, and turn notifications on. Also, leave us a comment. That helps as well. And as always, see you next week, guys. Have a good week.
Say something, Justin.
Everyone, have a safe and wonderful evening.
Bye, guys.